is time now for the Peter Chell New News Report on this Monday afternoon, December 28th, 2015. Good afternoon, buddy. I am Peter Wiggins. I hear 12 new news and I there. Top story at noon time on this Monday afternoon. Here is blizzard conditions and flash flood warnings hit the already ravaged residents on a heartland Monday after a string of severe storms left at least 43 people dead across 7 states during the previous 4 days. Tokyo, Japan, and South Korea had said on Monday they finally had reversely resolved the dispute of wartime sex slaves that had been developed relations between the two countries for decades. Baghdad, Iraqi forces said on Monday that they had seized a strategic government complex in the western city of Ramadi from the Islamic State after a first week-long battle putting them on the verge of a crucial victory following the brutal 7-month stretch. Metal Clement, the clan prince of basketball who had entertained fans as a member of the Harlem Group for 24 years, died Sunday in Scottsdale, Arizona. The team announced. Once again, President Obama tops an annual Gallup poll for the most American man over this year. Intriguing pair is tied for second. As Donald Trump tied for second. 2 people died after a 5-alarm fire ripped out a Brooklyn, New York apartment building early on Monday. Officials said it took more than 98 firefighters over the 3 hours to knock down the massive flames that erupted the 3-story Richardson Street building. Mao, Lebanon. More than 100 insurgents and their families crossed from Syria to Lebanon and the buses and militants on Monday as part of the UN. Beirut, a double bomb that killed at least 19 people and wounded dozens on Monday in the central Syrian city of Homs. Local officials and state media said, Maiduguri, Nigeria, Boko Haram Islamic extremists struck the northeastern city of Maiduguri, Nigeria for the first time on Monday with a rocket-propelled grenades and multiple suicide bombers, witnesses said. Beijing, a former official in charge of regulating massive waste dump that collapsed in the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen has killed himself, local police said. Police say a woman who was critically injured when a car crashed on a horse-drawn carriage in Maine on Christmas Day has died from her injuries. While lingering, Chicago Mayor Rob Emanuel has called for reform after a police officer arriving at the scene of a domestic disturbance apparently shot 2 people on Saturday, including a 55-year-old mother of 5 who were reported dead was accidentally shot. All wasn't peaceful and quiet over the holidays, and not as far as Donald Trump is concerned as Republican presidential frontrunner wrapped up his attacks against Democratic frontrunner. Hillary Clinton is now turning his attention. While polls in New Hampshire have been fairly steady for quite a while, Donald Trump has held the consistent lead among red state Republicans for months, but is back in his struggling to reach the 30% threshold turns could be vulnerable to one. Valiant Pharmaceuticals International Corporate Chief Executive Officer Michael Pearson taking a medical leave of absence put a management on the Maryland drug maker and hands on a team of executives. E-commerce wasn't a big story for the holiday season, but there's a chance of high level online spending won't last in the first months of the new year, according to Mascot Spending Pulse, with a Federal Reserve's decision to December to start raising interest rates for the first time in a newly enacted to help to deflate the same stock market level for the central bank and is accused of helping to deflate over the course of the market six. New York crude prices fell 3% on Monday with a Brent back near 11-year lows and trading lower to U.S. crude, pressured by weak Japanese consumption of oil and renewed worries about oversupply. Giant squid fans get a nice Christmas present when one of the titans of the deep appeared to be a Japanese harbor Christmas Eve. As better still for those on it, it had arrived at Atlantic City recorded some amazing footage CNN reported. Ban Ki-moon, UN chief, very grateful to George W. Bush for climate change. Pluto's stained glass insurance pretty much did the folks at the NASA do harass the team just feel like listing up their favorite dwarf planet for the holidays. Asthma rates among poor children continue to be increasing across ethnic groups because of higher rates of exposure to environmental risk factors. One man's health food is another man's junk food is. If last year is any indication, the majority of Americans set goals pertaining to health in 2016. The country's twin birth rate is 33.9 twins per 1,000 births for 2014, up from 33.7 twins per 1,000 births in 2013, according to a report from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. In Chipotle, their Boston College reopened weeks after 136 students and other patrons fell ill with the norovirus. Our officials say the infections weren't linked to the E. coli of cases that shuttered dozens of restaurants around the country. Alright, let's look at a stock market report here at 12:04. The Dow down 73.11 points at 17.79.06. S&P 500 down 10.43 points at 2,015.56. The Nasdaq down 29.37 points at 5,018.73. European markets down 73.73 points down at 10,653.91. FTSE up 13.66 points at 6,254.64. CAC 40 down 45.23 points at 4,617.95. Asian markets. Nikkei 873.35 up 104.29 points. Shanghai 3534.76 down 93.16 points. And HSI 218.51 down 218.51 points at 21,019.62. Oil markets down $1.26 at $36.84. Brent down $1.03 at $36.86. And natural gas 2.201 up 1.72 thousand point. Gold markets 1,630 down $6.60. Silver 13.93 down 449 thousand point. And copper 2.0795 down 445 thousand point. Bond US 10 yield down to 2,000 point at 2.2215%. German 10 yield up 6,000 point at 0.5613%. Japanese 10 year note down 2,000 point at 0.273%. FX bonds. European US dollar 1.1981 up 8,000 point US dollar. Japanese yen 120.30 down 10 cents. And Great Britain pound US dollar 1.4882 down 5,000 point. Okay, look at commodities. Wheat 466 and a half down 1. Soybean 863 and a quarter down 9 and 3 quarters. Corn 361 and a quarter down 3 and a quarter. Sugar 14.78 down 28 cents. Coffee 119.05 down 65 cents. Cotton 63.82 up 16 cents. Road rice 11.195 up 12 cents. And cocoa 3,196 down 14. Live cattle 136.625 down 40 cents. Late ox 59.225 up 925 thousand point. And FD cattle 159.075 down 1 on 5 cents. Okay, look at that. New Peter Chaldusan, 1206, start out for a sports report here. The North Lancers hockey team will be in Brooklyn's Ace After Arena at 4 o'clock this evening, taking on the Stoughton Black Knights. Brandon Marshall spends part of the time in New York as an analyst and correspondent for Showtime's Inside the NFL. So after his New York Jets 26-20 win over the Patriots, when New England did not receive the kickoff in overtime. The NBA has suspended Memphis Grizzlies guard Matt Barnes for 2 games in a row in a confrontation with the New York Knicks coach Derek Fisher earlier this year. A league source confirmed with ESPN's Chris Broussard. Julio Jones has been an all-time great pass catch this season for the Falcons, and Jim Rice finally remembers Dave Anderson's enthusiasm for gamers. Peter Chaldusan, 12:07 on this Monday afternoon here, and it is time now for a Trapper Report here. Alright, let's take a look at the maps there where everything in Rhode Island is looking good on the highways and byways in Rhode Island. There, 95 on the southbound side is backed up from 128 to Deposit Street and the Canton North section of the next on the 95 7 out to Route 128 in Canton here. Southfield is passing on the northbound side, so from 3A all the way out to the Mass Pike here. Mass Pike on the westbound side is backed up from 146 Millbury all the way out to I-84 Sturbridge. Mass Pike on the eastbound side is backed up from I-84 and Sturbridge all the way at the Charlton West area. I-84 eastbound side of the Sturbridge, it's a little slow here. 495 on the southbound side, it's slow from Route 20 to Route 2A in the Marlboro stretch of Route 485 here. 7 tunnel slow, Callan tunnel is looking good here. Route 3 on the southbound side is slow before Route 128 in Burlington here. 120 on the northbound side, a little slow around Route 3 in Burlington here. 90 on Newport Avenue, it's South Attleboro, get active around Route 95, so expect a few delays in South Attleboro here. 293 to the westbound side, a little slow after the Everett Turnpike in Bedford on Route 101 in Bedford, New Hampshire here. Everett Turnpike, a little slow for the Nashua Amherst stretch. 495 on the northbound side, and the next to around Route 95. The Newbury reports will expect delays here. And 95 on the southbound side of the New Hampshire Turnpike, a little slow to the Hampton tolls here. Up in Maine, Maine Turnpike looking good from York and Augusta via Portland here. And 295 looking good for Portland and Gardner here. Okay, look at MBTA alerts here. Green Line E-Branch eastbound lanes between Heath Street and Brigham Circle doing the same old train. On Commuter Rail, it is looking good, and on the ferries, they are looking good. Peter Channel News Time, 12:09 p.m. here on this Monday afternoon here, and it is time now for a weather report on this Monday afternoon here, and after the last week, which is temperature is kind of similar to springtime here in New England here. We're back to reality as it is a chilly and a little windy day today here in Norton here. As our current conditions here in North Massachusetts here at 12:10 p.m. here. 36 degrees on temperature first gas, humidity 44%, wind speed nothing but 9 miles an hour, barometer 30.47 inches, 2.60 degrees, visibly 10 miles, and the wind chill 29 degrees. All right, take a look at our current conditions around the region here. It is 32 degrees in Logan for the Boston and in Berkeley, 31 in Gloucester, 29 in Lawrence, it's 30 in Fitchburg, and in Bedford it's 20 in Worcester, 30 in Sturbridge, it's 34 in Milford, 33 out in Norwood, 35 in Taunton and New Bedford, it's 34 in Plymouth and It's Wisconsin, 33, 34 in Falmouth and Chatham, it's 36 in Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, it's 34 in Providence, 38 in Wesley, it's 41 in Montauk, it's 42 in Islip in New York City, 42 in Bridgeport and New Haven, it's 38 in Denbury and Meriden, it's 36 in Waterbury, 37 in Northford, it's 34 in Winslow, it's 32 in Springfield, it's 28 in Athol, 29 in Greenfield, 20 in North Adams, and Pittsfield, Massachusetts, at 28 degrees, in Albany, New York, it's 25 degrees in Silver Springs, it's 21 in Rutland, Vermont, it's 26 in Maine, it's 24 in Bremer, Vermont, it's 23 in Lebanon, and Laconia, New Hampshire, 25 in Concord, New Hampshire, 27 degrees in Manchester, New Hampshire, it's 28 in Nashville, New Hampshire, it's 25 in Keene, New Hampshire, 24 degrees in Chapman, New Hampshire, 31 degrees in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, 25 degrees over Port Maine. Here. Okay, look at that. Map situation here shows cold front off the Southern California coastal stretch out the Pacific. Followed with a low pressure system from western Washington coastline all the way into the Southern California coast, merging with a cold front with a low pressure off Southern California here. The number followed from South Central Saskatchewan, stretching to central Montana. Followed from Nevada, day for Arizona, down to the Gulf of California. Followed with a low pressure in central Colorado, and followed from through Texas into Arkansas with a low pressure right in western Arkansas here. Followed from southeastern Minnesota, down from west central Iowa, down from western Missouri here. And a pink front stretch in the central Arkansas, down from southern Missouri, and merging with a warm front from Kentucky, down from Virginia, and a cold front from central Tennessee, stretching to Alabama, and down for the Gulf states. And we got low pressure in Arizona and south central Colorado and western Arkansas here, and south central Montana. While we got high pressure ridges here in Ontario, north central Mexico, and another one in the Intermountain region here of southern Idaho, northern Utah, and Wyoming here, 29 degrees. And also we got a station front from central British Columbia, stretching to northern Idaho, down from northwestern Montana, with a warm front down from southeastern Montana, down from western South Dakota and Nebraska here. 29 degrees on temperature in Detroit, it's 37 in Pittsburgh, 44 in Washington, D.C., 70 in Atlanta, 81 in Miami, Florida, it's 47 in Brownsville, Texas, it's 36 in Dallas, Texas, 29 in Kansas City, 18 in Omaha, Nebraska, 31 in Chicago, 17 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, 19 in Great Falls, Montana, 36 in Seattle, 42 in San Francisco, it's 41 in Los Angeles, it's 31 in Las Vegas, 17 in Salt Lake City, 7 in Denver, 21 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's 43 degrees out in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in the radar situation around the country. And 24 hours from now, this radar picture here in New England is going to be active. Okay, look at the radar situation here. It shows some spotty snow showers that settle in the eastern portions of the Nova Scotia, some patchy snow showers in southeast and west central portions of Newfoundland there, and a lot of snow showers for the northwestern Pennsylvania, stretching to the southern Great Lakes of southern Michigan, Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, down for Iowa, down for Nebraska, and some spotty snow showers in west central portions of Missouri, and down for eastern Kansas and northeastern portions of Oklahoma, and some sleet from west central Pennsylvania, stretching to down for Cleveland, Ohio, and stretching to northern Indiana, and down for north central Illinois, stretching to northeastern portions of Missouri, and some spotty rain showers from southwestern Pennsylvania, stretching down south to Georgia and northeastern Florida, and stretching down for Illinois, and then a lot of rain showers from Missouri down for Illinois, stretching down for western Kentucky, Tennessee, down for Alabama to southeastern Missouri, down for the Gulf states of Mississippi, and out to the Gulf states here. And also rated the Gulf central portions of Alaska here. Nope, no, rated the North central portions of Arkansas here. And some spotty rain showers in the southwestern portions of California, and some spotty rain showers off the northern California coast. A lot of rain showers in the northwestern Oregon and up the western Washington coast here. And a lot of rain showers off the Puget Sound of Washington State, some spotty snow showers in the east central portions of California, down in the northern portion of Nevada, down for southwestern portions of Idaho here. Some spotty snow showers in the northeastern portions of Oregon, down for east central portions of Washington State, north central portions of Idaho, and some spotty snow showers in the northwestern portions of Montana, down in south central portions of Alabama, down in west central portions of Saskatchewan, and some spotty snow showers in southeastern portions of Manitoba and west central portions of Ontario here. Okay, let us take a look at a satellite loop here. And it shows a lot of clouds from the Gulf states stretch up into the state of New York and cover much of the Great Lakes and cover much of Atlantic from the Maritime Zone into British Columbia, and a lot of clouds from eastern California stretching over much of the Inland Pacific Northwest and up in the northern and central Rockies here. Okay, let's take a look at forecast discussion here. Forecast discussion. Colder air arrives today, leading to seasonal temperatures. On with your mix late tonight into Tuesday will make for hazardous Tuesday morning commute. A brief repeat occurs Wednesday prior to the number storm system arriving on Thursday, which is bring rain, dry seasonal weather falls for New Year's weekend and New Year's term until 6 p.m. This evening, cold northerly winds blowing over the relatively mild ocean where resulted scattered light snow showers across portions of the Cape Cod mid-morning. While the activity will be quite light and scattered, may persist in the mid-afternoon steep low-level rains over the relatively mid-ocean as Cape Ann well, as Nantucket may also see some of these light snow showers and flurries, and virgin levels are quite low and dry boundary layers should be limited any accumulation of no more than the dusty. Otherwise, except partly-sized skies across the region with driver. Current temperature in the upper 20s to middle 30s should pretty much hold steady or even slow fall this afternoon as a result of a strong 1,040 millibar high across eastern Canada, sent in cold air, somewhat a gusty off winds there. And look at weather notes here. Expected today's highs 20 to 30 degrees up in North New England, 30 to 40 degrees for some New England. See icing up to a quarter, hundreds of an inch in central and western Massachusetts, New York, and Connecticut to lead some isolated power outages there. And snowfall jackpot, I'm thinking 9 inches or more for extreme northern New Hampshire and northwestern Maine with 9 inches of snow, 5 to 9 inches for the rest of northern New England, and 2 to 4 inches for Boston and points north and west. And the I-87 quarter from Albany to Plattsburgh, New York, and 1 to 2 inches from Boston to southeastern Mass and Rhode Island, Connecticut, and I-87 from Albany down to New York City here. And the timeline of the storm starts at 12:30 a.m. as snow north of Boston and western Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, and while sleeting in southwest Connecticut at 2:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. sleeting for Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, while snowed up in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. changing the rain from south to north. So expect to be a very tricky morning commute tomorrow here as we are under a hazard winter weather advisory effect from 8 p.m. tonight to 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon here. Winter weather advisory remains in effect from 8 p.m. this evening to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Location: 70 East Massachusetts and Welfare. Not connected at all Rhode Island except for Bristol, Newport counties, and Blockhouse. Hazard type: snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Accumulation: snow accumulation 1 to 3 inches along with a random trace of ice. Time and snow will begin around midnight. Snow, big snow, and a change in sleet before changing over to freezing rain toward daybreak and rain by mid-morning across the coastal plains. And freezing rain persists in the early afternoon hours across the higher terrain. Impacts dangerous travel conditions, especially for the Tuesday morning commute along elevated roadways. Untreated roads will become slick and slippery with only a trace of snow and ice. Visibility will be reduced, especially within snow tonight. Winter weather hazardization when snow and ice is forecast development in affected areas. But accumulations are expected to be like any snow and ice will be resulting in slippery conditions on the treated roadways and sidewalks. When temperatures are below freezing, motorists need to be especially careful on bridges and overpasses where slippery surfaces can easily develop. Hazard weather conditions. Day 1 today tonight. Winter weather advisory. Day 2 for 7. Tuesday for Sunday. Winter weather advisory. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. For this afternoon, most of the skies are about 34 degrees. The northeast will about 8 to 10 miles gust size, 22 miles an hour. For tonight, snow may up to 3 a.m. Low around 27 degrees. And northeast will about 3 to 5 miles an hour. Transportation is 8% new snow accumulation around an inch possible. For Tuesday, snow before 8 a.m. Then snow sleep between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Then rain after 9 a.m. 142 degrees and east with about 7 miles an hour. Becoming north as the afternoon winds can gust size, 21 miles an hour. Transportation is 1% new snow sleep accumulation less than 1 inch possible. Tuesday, rain likely move for 1 a.m. Then a slight chance of snow showers up to 4 a.m. Most skies got low about 34 degrees and northwest about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Transportation 6% new precipitation less than 7 inches possible. For Wednesday, chance of showers may after 10 a.m. Hot sunset got about 45 degrees and light and variable wind. Transportation 50%. Wednesday, rain likely may before 11 p.m. Clouds got low about 38 degrees. Transportation 30%. Thursday, hot sun skies about 49 to about 31 degrees. New Year's Day, most of the podcast skies have about 40 to about 28 degrees. Saturday, most of the podcast skies have about 37 to about 25 degrees. And for Sunday, most of the skies have about 37 degrees. Peters, what a phrase of the afternoon, a sunny afternoon attack, and a tricky Tuesday attack. Peter was able to go. Good afternoon, good positive to you for an evening report. Have a good afternoon.